Congressman Dan Bishop, thank you for joining us on the Capitol Report.
Glad to be with you. Thanks for the time.
Congressman, the State Department recently sanctioned some Chinese officials over persecution that they're conducting overseas in China. With that said, should the U.S. government be taking more steps to hold China and Chinese officials accountable for all of their crimes?
To be sure, China is the most significant geopolitical adversary for the United States. That's something that President Trump, I think, spent a full administration illustrating for the American people to great effect. I don't think anybody really differs with that now. But the question then becomes what we do. And I think we need to confront China in many ways, but certainly their human rights violations against Uyghurs, for example, many others. Yeah, I've been supportive of every action taken in the House and believe we should do more.
Now, President Biden is heading over, if he's not already there right now, to Europe to visit some of the NATO allies. This is probably the most critical overseas trip of his presidency. What message do you expect him to send to the NATO alliance and European allies?
Look, I wish him the best because the president abroad speaks for the country, but unfortunately the situation he's in is almost untenable thanks in no small part to his own weakness in the way he's conducted foreign affairs. If you can go back to Afghanistan, the utter incompetence displayed in that withdrawal, you can draw a direct line to the circumstance we now face with the grave threat to European security in the situation with the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So the president now needs to pivot and begin demonstrating strength. And that's a hard thing to do when he's shown as much weakness as we unfortunately have. Senator Cruz has made the point, and I think he's right, that you can also look to President Biden's dropping of the sanctions on Nord Stream 2 pipeline and Putin's belief that that would soon be online as opening the door to him to commit this aggression in Ukraine. So we've got to see a turn, a pivot from the weakness that Biden has demonstrated thus far.
Do you think there's any lessons to be learned in terms of taking preemptive, firm action to some of these despots around the world, especially when it comes to China?
I think you have to take the right action, but you need to show strength. Now, and so, I think I, for one, have sounded the note that even in Congress, once the war drums begin pounding, you've still got to proceed with deliberation and reason. We passed a bill on Russian and Belarusian trade relations a week ago. I voted no. I was one of 8 Republicans who voted no because that bill contained unprecedented expansion of executive power, both in terms of granting the power unilateral to the president permanently in effect to set trade tariffs for those nations, and also an elimination of the sunset on the Magnitsky Act and an expansion and reduction of the standards governing the president's ability to sanction foreign persons anywhere in the world. We can't keep handing blank checks, but the president and the Congress need to be prepared to confront threats to freedom in the world and show us a steel resolve and be prepared to act along with our fellow nations.
Congressman Dan Bishop, thank you.
Thanks, Steve.